So welcome at your meeting of the COCOCO at 3:30. I'm Clement Serafin, and today I will talk to you about Secure 365 at the era of AI. So first, to introduce myself, I'm one more MVP on your day. Architect on M365, I'm mainly the admin, which are deploying Copilot after Romain made the design, the guy which is uploading the zip. You can find me on LinkedIn. Don't hesitate to add me if you have any questions. I will be happy to answer them. If later you have some question coming, you can still add me and we will exchange together. Would be with pleasure. Okay, let's start with an introduction featuring Tom and Jerry, because I really like this cartoon. So, today we have just this little sentence from a great French humorist is the cheese paradox. The Emmental is a cheese which have holes. They are naturals. And so if you have more cheese, that means you have more holes. And if there is more holes, there is less cheese. But so meaning if there is more cheese, that means there is less cheese. So it's a bit of a stupid sentence, but let's see what's applying in our context today. So right now, when you have your Gruyere, so the Gruyere is just the cheese which have small holes. There is not a lot of holes inside. It's representing your IT systems today. You will have some attack vectors, so you can still attack it. You can still attack an IT system, but with the Gruyere, you don't have a lot of attack vectors or a large attack surface. But right now, with the AI which is coming, with the increase of functionality we are seeing every day, we have more and more security issues. So sadly, our Gruyere is becoming an Emmental with more holes. And this stuff is like, it's the favorite of Jerry, because right now when we have more holes with all the AI which are coming, the attacker is just present and he can attack through all attack vectors. But the issue is we have our admin, Little Tom, which is trying to protect the cheese. But with so many attack vectors, it's really, really difficult to do the job. Right now, you have really AI, which is coming from pretty everywhere. And the main goal of this session is to discuss together how we can just improve that. So yeah, Jesse is passing and get the Emmental every time at the end. So first, know what you need to defend. So you have AI, which is deploying in your company, and you need to know the stack. Everyone talk about it during the day. Just a quick reminder, when we are talking M365, you have 4 kinds of agents. The basic one, which is totally no-code, which are the SharePoint agents. You will have the one on M365, which is called the Agent Builder. Romain just talked to you about Copilot Studio. And maybe you saw some sessions which are more turned into Procode concerning Foundry and third-party AI tool. When we try to deconstruct these agents, we have 3 stuff. First, you will have the tools control. So what are the capability of the agent, what it can do. After, you will have the content control. So what data is accessible by the agent. The last one concerns the agent management and the monitoring of it. Basically, let's talk first about the knowledge. We'll go after deeper in terms of security. Agent 365, you already heard this word recently. I saw the questions about the licensing. So right now, as it defined by Microsoft, Agent 365 is a product which is allowing you to monitor your agents. You have a license which is per user because you are paying the Defender capability of your agents. As well, you have the part which is concerning the OBO, so the capacity to impersonate people of Agent 365. That's why Agent 365 right now is a per user license. It will be in GA at the end of the month. And like Romain said, at the build, you will have more detail about it. But little stuff I want to talk about it. It's in preview if you want to test it, you You still have 15 days, and after you will have to pay for it. But right now in preview, it's totally free. So if you are part of the Frontier program, you can test it. So, test before disable. It's still better to test and see before, not having it anymore. In Agent 265, you will have what we call the map. The map is giving you just a graphic visibility of all agents you have. So for example, you will have I will take the laser pointer. You will have your SharePoint agents. You will have your agent builders, so the ones which are built in M365. You will have the external partners as well, Foundry, some others, and Copilot Studio. When we have this visibility on agents, you have as well the registry. So what I just presented you was the map, which is right there. You have the registry, which will allow you to see all agents you have on the tenant. When I talk about agents, you have the third-party agents, which are included as well. Like I show you here, you have Asana, Ignite, Albao. What I do first as an admin, if I don't work with some company, like I don't have Asana at all in my company, we are not using it, by default, I will block these agents. Why? Because I want to have a security assessment which is done about the product before deploying it. So my users will make me a request, and after, when I make my assessment, I will provide them the agent and make it available. But by default, we are not opening every third-party agent inside the company. Why? Because those agents are accessing your data. So it's important to protect them. After, about SharePoint agent. SharePoint agent, so as well in Agent 365, you can have a visibility on each agent. So I just took one I created, which is called Fridays then. And so you will have the port, which is concerning the knowledge, which is right there. And this port, you will have the site, the SharePoint site, which is used as knowledge inside your agent. As well, when you are making so a SharePoint agent, it's just a retrieval agent. It's just retrieving data. So if you have some Copilot Studio agents, like Romain was talking about, you will have the action port, which will give you all the actions which are allowed by the agent. So it's one way you can have to verify the data which are accessed by an agent. But if you want to go a bit deeper, so just a little stuff about the SharePoint agents. Right now, all SharePoint agents are a file. In fact, it's a file, just like a Word, a doc. All SharePoint agents are a .agent file, which is on SharePoint. So if you're making a cross search inside your tenant, if you're searching for all .agents file, you can retrieve, in fact, all your SharePoint agents. So it's a way to identify where they are positioned inside your tenant. As well, so about protecting this data. So we were talking first about what the data are accessed by the agents. You have one step which is called SharePoint Advanced Management. It's allowing you to have some metrics about your SharePoint data which are accessed by Copilot or just generally. You can use it if you have only one M365 Copilot license. So don't be afraid, it will say SharePoint Pro. You just need one M365 Copilot license and you can use it. This one are generating reports. When you're launching it, the report can be really consequent. If you have a really big tenant, it can take maybe 2 or 3 days. But when you've done it, it will give you all the sites which have an inactivity period based on 3 months. So if they are not used during 3 months, and this data will be considered a bit old. Why? Because right now, when you are making a request to Copilot, it will see all the data which is available. But if you have some data which is too old and accessible, it can create conflicts on the answer which is generated. So let's talk about a bit of governance we can make with this data. The first one is called the ownership policy. In SharePoint, you can create what we call the ownership policy, which will help you to identify the owners inside a website. So basically, if you don't have 2 owners, the ownership policy will send a mail. So you can send the mail to the site admins, to the members, to the site owner and admins as well, the one which were previously managing it. And after, it will help you to find an owner. I have a rule, basically, if I don't have an owner after 3 months, I will just pass the site in read only. So that means people won't be able to modify it anymore. Why? Because I need ownership on the data. If you are wild data, which is on your company, it's just generating issues. So after 3 months, if I don't find an owner, I would just pass it in read only. And after 6 months, if I didn't still have an owner, I will archive this website because I need people to own the data. Inactive policy. I was talking to you about data which is kind of old. Right now, we have as well the inactivity policy. So basically, if there is no people which are making interaction with the website, 3 months as well, I put as a rule, if during 3 months people are not using this website, are not making any interaction with it, I will just pass it in read-only. So meaning this website will be only read, and after 6 months, I will archive it. If no one is like manifesting, any interest in it, I don't will keep this data taking space. Archiving as well your sites is less costly if you have some extra storage, and it will help you to have more recent data, so your Copilot will be more accurate. Oversharing. Right now, when you have your company, you can put some parameters to who you want to share. So first, you have what we call the anyone. Anyone is something which is normally blocked on every tenant. We are not sharing SharePoint file externally to the company. It's something which is kind of dangerous. So if we want to share, we are using other ways than SharePoint to share directly file externally. After, you will have the new and existing guest, which is basically concerning everyone inside the company, the org-wide permissions. When you have an org-wide permissions, that means you just have a link and you share the link to the people inside your company. When you are doing that, you are blocking some permission inheritance. Oh, basically, if I take a file in my SharePoint, I just generated the link and I share to someone, that means it's not respecting anymore the permission which has been put on the website. So you're breaking a permission. My advice about that is please review the broken permission inheritance, because sometimes you can share just with a link to all the company and they will be triggered by Copilot results, and it can be problematic. So when you have a link, you have basically a file, try to respect the SharePoint permission as much as you can. So it's just a view from an assessment I made some time ago. So I got something like 16,000 files which were blocking permission inheritance. So meaning basically they can be triggered by Copilots, and the user was just, thinking about, I will just share a file to most of the people inside the company, just sharing to someone, but in fact, it can be triggered by Copilot. One stuff you can do to protect you about that, you can restrict some websites to be used by Copilot. I'm not the guy which is saying Copilot is shitty. It's just right now when you have some sensitive content, like HR websites, the internal HR website in SharePoint, you can restrict it from showing up for Copilot response. So this stuff will allow you to secure some data. It's really important to put in place, like for your board. You saw the little pro I talked to you about. This little pro is, get just one M365 Copilot and you can use it. As well, we can have more granularity. You have what we call the DLP right now. When you are putting a label or you are using a sensitivity info type, you can just say, I want to prevent this content to be processed by Copilot. So Romain was talking about C1, C2, C3. I just will, so about label, I just will consider ones because, kind of bunch of label inside the company. The one I will really consider is the one which is highly confidential. So normally I have public, I have internal, confidential, and after highly confidential. The highly confidential one, you can, as recommendation, I will say you, yeah, when it's highly confidential, please exclude it from the indexing of Copilot because we don't want, in any case, I don't know any kind of issue, we don't want this to be in Copilot and triggered by some employee by mistake. So when you're creating this DLP, you just put the actions, prevent Copilot from processing content, exclude content from processing in Copilot, and it won't be triggered. That's a good stuff because this one can be done by users as well. When you're putting a label, right now, if you're going inside PowerPoint, you put the label highly confidential and you can exclude from Copilot by putting a highly confidential. Some people right now are creating a dedicated label, which is non-Copilot label. So it's just a label called non-Copilot, and it allows people to exclude their content from Copilot if they wish. When we are trying to make label, we have to monitor that. MPAR, yeah, it's a long acronym, I know. So it's Microsoft Purview Advanced Rich Report. This one is totally free. You can find it in GitHub. So if you are typing MPAR, you will find it directly on GitHub. It's a huge deployment, but it's totally free. When you are deploying it, it will allow you to have directly metrics about your labeling policies. When you are putting labels, it's really hard to follow. But with this one, you can have granularity about how you deployed your labels and to see how the DLP rules has been matched by environment, by users, by date or department. You can have as well a visibility, so the number of amount of document and document which are accessed by which type of domain inside your tenant. The last, yeah, it's one of the other reports which can be, published for the board, like for example, label files by label name as well, or the file count you have by extension inside your tenant. So if you want to try this tool, it will be a bit complicated to deploy, but once it's deployed, it can be really effective. Okay, let's go deep dive inside the security. We made a little bit of preview. Yeah, Tom is in Greece, said DLP, so let's go. Okay, right now, when you're opening Purview, when you try to do AI security, the first stuff you can see is the AI baseline assessment. So basically, you will have some AI key points you can treat inside your tenants. So it's advice from Microsoft. You can follow them, but like we said, you have some of them I already talked about. Facilitate data classification through classification prediction, content recognition, apply sensitivity labels. So basically, yeah, you have those baselines, but I just would like to give you some today. Some of them you can directly apply, which will be pretty useful. So if you tried to join the Frontier program, DSPM for AI has been replaced by DSPM. That's all. DSPM preview. So this one is still in preview, but it will give you what we call the AI observability. So this one is pretty important because when you are going in it, you will have all the risk which has been identified for all your agents. So right now, if you are trying to make a prompt injection into an agent, the agent after can be considered as a high risk because some people are trying to extract data. You will have as well the visibility I talked to you about in H365, like oversharing, the tentative of exfiltration, unethical. Yeah, people are insulting the agent. You don't want to even know. And so you will have the view of all your agents and you will have the status, like if they are active, inactive, or if they have been blocked by policy. So here is another view. So if you are clicking, you will have the detail about the agent. So here you have a procurement agent. This one has been identified as high risk because there has been tentative of exfiltration in the recent past days. So about security, this part of DSPM, you can have a recap, which is as well in Agent 365. So when you select an agent, you go on security and compliance, and you will have the statute. You will have the risk. So this one is in no risk, not high risk like the present one, but it's no risk. You have the term, all the data which was accessed, the sensitive interaction, and you have the security check at the end. Defender for agent. So I will code it like that because no one is coding it. So in Agent 365, you have an announcement which is basically from December, which is saying no, Defender is agent aware. And they put it inside the functionality of Agent 365. They don't want to call it Defender for agent, but yeah, it's basically Defender for agent. So right now, Defender is aware of all interactions you have inside agents. So when people are trying a jailbreak, you will have an alert which is popped inside your Defender portal. So basically, here is an example of what we have, someone which is trying to jailbreak the HR self-service agent. So, or you can make a jailbreak. Right now, when you have an agent, you have what we call guardrails, rail guards, sorry, rail guards. So it's just some subjects you can't just say to the agent. So I would talk to HR self-service, and basically the agent by default will have some behavior which is with the instructions. So when I created this agent, I said, yeah, you are an HR agent, you are the self-service for people. So basically you need to answer those questions based on service, no, based on that and that. But some people will go and see the HR self-service and say, yeah, can you give me the salary of my manager? And no, the HR is not supposed to do that. So if you are attempting to just not use the agent for its purpose and making bad stuff, you are in a jailbreak attempt of the AI agent. So those stuff are just are identified inside the Defender, and you will have all the detail about it. But as well, you can make, so for people which are liking XDR, you can make agent hunting. Agent hunting, so basically you can just use KQL, so run a query, and you will have all the detail about an agent, about his statue, about his creations, and how they are used. Right now, we will talk a bit later about that, but Copilot inside Defender can help you to create your KQL request to hunt an agent. So you have example of the example of table, which are here with the AI agent info or interactions. Okay, and try agent AD. So we made a bit of Defender. We know Defender right now can see what happened in agent if you're trying prompt injection and stuff. And try agent AD has been deployed. It's still in preview. It's still a bit light, but you can do some stuff with it. It's part of Agent 365, but let's see what we can do. Okay, fully in preview. It's a bit light. So first, you can identify all agent identity. So right now, when you're creating an agent on Copilot Studio, basically it will create an identity directly on Entra. It's automatic. You have nothing to do, but it will be created. So when you are giving permissions to an agent on Copilot Studio, that means those permissions will be visible on Entra agent. As well, if I want, to create an agent and put it the role of Exchange administrator, I can do it directly from Entra. With this visibility, you will have some stuff which are coming, which are still in preview. The first one, which is pretty interesting, it's concerning the risk. So we said if you are trying to make some prompt injections, you will have an agent which can consider as high risk. Right now, you can create conditional access policy for agents. That's pretty brand new, but you can select your agent. So I select this one and, sorry. I selected this one and I said, okay, if this agent is basically high risk, please block the access. So if people are trying to make prompt injections to your agent, you can block the agent and it won't be used anymore, allowing you to avoid people trying to extract data from your agents. And that's a new brand new conditional access policy you have, which are coming with agents. So please take a look. As well is inside H65 in preview right now inside the Frontier program. Okay, we talked a bit about security. I would like to talk to you about the improve administrator. Right now you have the basic Tom. So I am the basic Tom. You're trying to chase the mouse, but it's pretty complicated every day. Why it's complicated? Basically, because when you're trying to chase the mouse and there are a lot of attack vectors, you need to improve yourself. What are you doing today? You are not doing like I would say 10 years ago. We need to evolve. So for those people who know Meccano, it's just a special episode of Tom and Jerry where Tom is replaced by a robot. So let's see how we can, use robots in our everyday as admin work to try to improve how we can work with Copilot and, all this AI on M365. The L3, so the basic level 3 admin STOM, right now it's making some security. So that's what I was doing for some customers. I was doing some security, when there is a phishing inside a mail. Yeah, please, Clement, open Defender. Let's see what happened. Yeah, the CEO received a bad mail. Oh, yeah, please, Clement, take a look. You have some issue on Intune. Yeah, we are struggling to offboard some device. Clement, can you take a look? When it's saying Microsoft, it's on my forehand. So, if there is an issue, it's me. User management as well. We have some issue with some attributes about this agent. As well, you have DSPM. So, I need to ensure the data is correctly labeled, etc. So one stuff which is really, really important, it's Security Copilot. So it can sound security, but you can use it as well as an admin. Okay, don't just stop about the word security. Security Copilot is just the background features which can be used inside multiple admin portals. It can be used inside Defender, Entra, Intune, 365, Purview. So how to start this? So Security Copilot, the first things to know, you will have to invest a bit. Right now, it's based on computer unit. So we are giving you 1 computer unit per hours. So it's costing $4 per hours to make some operations. It's like pay as you go. You have pay as you go for M365 Copilot. Right now, you just need to as well, need at least to pay 1 compute units per hours to use Security Copilot. So yeah, first, if you want to start working with it, it will cost you almost $3,000 per month. If you have some E5 inside your company, it's included in E5. So we will have an amount of ECU not per hours, but per month. So, okay, I know it's costly, but let's see what we can do with it. Why I think it's a bit worse to have it. First, you have what we call Copilot in Entra. So when you are in Entra, the Copilot, Security Copilot is just, it will pop as Copilot. Huh? I told you it's like, basically it's the same. It's just, the Copilot button in Entra, you have to provision Security Copilot behind. But what you can use Copilot in Entra to facilitate your day-to-day job as an admin. Right now, if I just want, I would like a report about some users which doesn't make these steps to make their MFA. I just will ask, yeah, please make me a report of non-MFA users and provide me the remediation steps. And so basically it will give me the list of users. So I have my browser, which didn't make this MFA, bad. I have after some guests, I have some auxiliary account and an isolated account as well. And you will have the remediation steps. So basically right now, instead of searching, going through all the navigations, you have to see which people doesn't have MFA. No, you just ask Copilot, it will give you, and you will gain some time. As well, in Entra, you have some agents. I don't know how many of you people have currently a lot of conditional access. On some For some customers, sometimes I reach between 80 and 100 conditional access roles. They created agents. So you talk about agents for Copilot, agents for Copilot Studio, M365, etc. You have as well agents for Security Copilot. And one of these agents is a conditional access optimizer agent. I tested it in preview. I now have in production. Basically, when you are launching it during 24 hours, it will analyze all people which are connecting to your systems. And it will tell you, yes, these guys are not concerned by a CA. Those one, yeah, they are just, they are concerned by this CA, but not by this one. They are missing some stuff. So it will suggest you some new policy to make. It will as well tell you if you have some policy which are in double, which are duplicate, and which are causing the same effect at the end. So this one is really, really good to just improve your conditional access. Basically, I knew a lot of customers which are struggling with it. When you want to make a review of your conditional access, it's taking a lot of time. It's a full year project. You will have to review, to create new ones, to delete old ones. It's really struggling. So try this security copilot agents for your conditional access. You will gain a lot of time. As well for people which are doing Intune, it's available in Intune. So in Intune, you can ask some questions like show me all recently enrolled device or all non-compliant device. As well, you have an example. So one settings in Intune about the OS build version, and it just gives you the answer about the OS build version. We used it for non-compliant device. Sometimes Intune can be really tricky to just go inside all admin panels. And so basically, when you are using Copilot in Intune, it can facilitate your job. You have as well some agents to make the device offboarding. Sometimes people are just wasting a lot of time with the offboarding of some device. So right now you can make an agent directly to make all the steps to offboard a computer. As well, we talk about DSPM preview. Copilot is available inside it. So basically you can say, yeah, please give me all sensitive files were shared outside the organization in the last 7 days. So all this stuff, so meaning right now you will have Security Copilot, which can be used between 4 different teams. So you will have the team number 1, so which is the endpoint team working on Intune, which will use it. You will have as well the security team using it on Defender. You will have the compliance team using it in Purview, identity team using it inside Entra. So it can become costly, but you can activate what we call the over expense. So meaning when you need more SCU, you can just provision them on use if you need them. Security Copilot in Defender. Yep. So as well, I give you just a little example about it. It's one of the examples we really used every day in the whole company. I received a phishing. Right now, this phishing gone directly into the CEO mailbox. People are screaming, the CISO is coming. Yeah, what happened? Wow. And every time you're just opening the incident inside Defender and you're like, whoa, it's kind of messy, hard to understand. And so basically you can use Security Copilot in Defender. So I just make a full train for the SOC and they are just on each incident asking a recap to Copilot. It allowing me to not have, a full security expert making the analysis because Security Copilot is helping them on the everyday job in Defender. Here, it's an example about the latest threat, which has been identified by Microsoft, like a vulnerability on Windows Task Scheduler. I see we have questions. Yep. Hey, yeah, Camille, good questions about Security Copilot. I like it. is there a way to test security copilots without paying thousands of dollars? There is a way, but it's the most complicated way ever. I will say it like that because so you can provision SCU. So you will provision security copilots. You're testing it, you delete it. And so you will have only paid for, the time you used it. So $4 per hour. So that's what I don't have $3,000 to test it every day on my own tenant, my personal one. So basically what I do is I provision security copilots, I do some scenarios, some testing, some stuff, and after I delete it. So it's allowing you to have more control and avoiding those, 3,000 in one time. So if you want to test the conditional optimization agent, you can provision the security copilot. You launch the agent. You have to stay 24 hours, so it will cost you, I think, $100. And after, let's go. You delete it. At least you will have the result and you can test it. As well, if you want to test it in Defender, you provision, incident, okay, give me the recap, and you delete it. It's just to try the product if you need that. I know it's really, it's a bit costly at the first, the $3,000 to get one ECU, but the time which is gained with that is really massive. We were talking just before about Defender and auto recap incident about a phishing attempt. Right now, in Security Copilot, you have agents. I told to you about the conditional access optimization agent. You have bench of agents. A new one which has been deployed recently, it's called the phishing triage agent. The phishing triage is just making an analysis on the incident for everything which has been, so it's just making your SOC level 1. I would say it's a kind of sad stuff because basically that's mean you don't need any more a SOC level 1 because an agent can do it. So it means fire people. But this agent is really effective to try to make a phishing analysis and treat incident automatically. The one which is really useful as well is the access review agent. For a person like me working on E5 scenarios, we have some access review about admins, about people, and so you can have an agent which is just fastening the process. Okay, one other way about how the admin can be improved. Some people like Tom are still making their job manually. You can be a bit skeptic about Security Copilot, I understand that. But one stuff you should really try, I think it's one of the most effective tools I can advise you today is GitHub Copilot. GitHub Copilot is costing right now $19. I'm using it every day as an admin. So if you are doing PowerShell on Exchange, on SharePoint, on Intune, so all the guys which are doing PowerShell, GitHub Copilot now is mandatory. Why I said mandatory? Because it will simplify your job by 100. Just one example. I need to delegate someone mailbox, okay? I have, I'm a total newbie in PowerShell. In fact, I know PowerShell, but I have someone, the guy which have joined the company, and we are talking about vibe coding here. I needed to learn PowerShell. I need to make a mailbox delegation. Right now, I need the code to delegate the mailbox in Exchange. I put that in Security Copilot. It's in VS Code, and it will generate me directly the function to make a delegation. This one is really, really helpful. Sometimes I make 1,000 line in PowerShell. I just economize a bunch of time with that. We deployed it just for developers, and the effectiveness about 6 months using GitHub Copilot was 20% of the line which has been generated by Copilot are now in production in the company. So that's been basically, I gain 1 out of 5 developers time. It's really, really effective. As well, you can go deeper in detail. People, sometimes are generating code. They are not even understanding what they are talking about. But here I can ask Copilot, okay, I need to, delegate the mailbox from Clement to Paula. Okay. And after, oh, okay, please explain me in detail all the parameters of the command. I need to know. And it will help you to identify. So basically, sometimes people are just putting, as example, inheritance type all, and they don't even realize this stuff means the permission will apply to all child objects. They're just putting it like that. And so no, GitHub Copilot can help you to understand the code you're generating, and it can help you to, on day-to-day to gain time to just generate some code. So please give it a try. It's really, really useful. Last stuff, Project Opal. So this one is called, it's totally in preview. Why it's totally in preview? It's even called project. So the stuff is still a project. But yeah, right now, if you have an M365 license, you can try to delegate some tasks totally to a bot, but totally. When I said that, that's mean I tried, we are talking about just the delegation before, and talking about those delegation, I tried to delegate, so add the permission to Paula to read Clement Serafin mails. I just said that to Project Opal. When I made the configuration, it's asking me some URL to work on. So I said, okay, you are an L3 admin. You're responsible to make support on Exchange Online, and you need to help me to treat some tickets. I just giving that 3 sentences. I provision some computer. So those computers are directly, so right now it's in preview. So it's dependent of your M365 license. It advises you to provision 2 computers per users, because when a computer is working, you need another one. But basically what I said, okay, just add the permission. It will search the permissions inside. So on the bottom left, what you're seeing is the computer which is working with my permissions. So I just logged in inside, and with the SSO, it's making the job directly and trying to put the delegation. Little stuff at the end. What happened? So it navigates to the mailbox settings. It just select my mailbox. It navigate to delegation settings, checking delegation permissions, editing access, adding Paula, select, and it said, oh, yeah, I was updating that, but it's telling me, yeah, I need to save. So yes or no? And just I said, yes, okay, let's go. And it's done. Basically, I just delegate an admin, delegate the work just to make a delegation of permissions inside Action Admin Center to a bot. I could give it to my interns. It will be the same. Sad for the intern, sorry, but it's just I have delegate a job to Opal. So right now it's still in preview. We don't have so much clarification. It should maybe come, Project Opal should come inside Agent 365 licensing. Right now it's still in M365 one. We'll see how it changes. It's still in preview. But if you want to give it a test, if you have an M365 license, you can give it a test. It's not totally stable, but yeah, if you want to test it and to be, one of the precursor, it would be a nice stuff. Okay, so what is the result? We had Tom yesterday, which was making all, admin tasks manually. And if we are talking about Mechano, how he became a Mechano, so that means right now, when you have some admin job which are covered by Security Copilot, you can use Security Copilot agents or an help from Copilot directly inside different stacks, like Defender, like Intune, Entra, and Purview. If, we talk about Exchange Online, if it's not possible, you can still try make some PowerShell, and GitHub Copilot will be the AI which will help you to that. And at least if you are more no code and try to delegate some simple task, you can delegate them directly to Opal. And by doing that, you are honoring what we call a mechanocat, which will help you to chase away the mice. Sorry. Yeah, that's the point about that. Right now, tools are evolving. I'm an admin. If I try to do everything manually, I will be fucked up in 2 or 3 years because I have to improve myself. I have to just work better and faster because with AI, Microsoft is evaluating all agents will come and just, there will be bunch of agents in all tenants, etc., etc., etc. But, you can't do it everything. You can't do everything manually. So, when you have a robot, you need to put a robot in front to be able to challenge it. So the conclusion, don't be exhausted like Tom and become a mechano. So thank you. That's pretty all for me, slash the end. That's all, folks. I hope you like these sessions and I'm free for your questions.
Yeah, thank you. I think there are no new questions, or let me check the Q&A. No, this one you have already answered, and in the chat there's no new question, so probably you answered them all with your session. Great.
Thank you. After, if you have some questions which are coming later, don't hesitate to ask on LinkedIn. I will answer with pleasure.
Yeah, genau. So I just put the link to LinkedIn in the chat, so don't hesitate to connect. Yeah. Okay, then thank you